Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, Lasell Anungu.
Yes, what's going on, everyone? Appreciate you joining me here in the building right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Penny Stocks Live. I'm live, right? Can anyone see me? I think I am in the building. Shout out to the people slowly coming into the chat room. We're going to spend the next hour talking about your favorite penny plays, as well as options. All right? So go ahead and put your tickers in the chat room. Shout out to the people coming in. Fisher G, what's going on, man? Rich Million. Shout out to Rich Million and his Trep play. Trep doing really well. I cut it out. I wanted to see how it was going to do today, and it was steady. I mean, what a steady play. So I cut it out last week's episode, and I made a video in itself that the traders of Trep can use to share among themselves, and it's a video that now we can take a look back, in the future and see, hey, this is where it came from. So really, really great stuff. 206, man. It's been a long time. Mr. Lloyd, what's up?
Man, I'm sitting here with the darn flu, cold in Seattle. How you doing, man? Man, I'm so glad to see you back on. I know I've been MIA, man. I'm selling my house, man, and I am going to be moving up in the world. I realized that, it's so funny about taking profits, man. It's like, here it is. I had trouble taking profits. So I said, why don't I just take the profits out of my house? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you're at the top right now, Mr. Lloyd. This is where you want
exactly.
to be. You want to be cashing out now. So
that's right.
I think you're making the best move that I've heard in a long time in terms of real estate, man. I think, you're up in Washington, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny is traders have a hard time taking profits, and that was my biggest thing. And I walked home every day. I'm suffering. I'm like, why am I suffering? Next thing I know, I said, look, we got all this equity on the floor. Let's just pick it off the floor and take it out. What's the problem? Take the money off the floor.
Get the money now, because I mean,
right.
3 months, 6 months, a year from now, who knows where the market could be? Who knows?
Right. But by me doing this will allow me to basically making this. Basically, I'm going to put it this way, man. If I would have never met you, I would have stayed in that house for 30 years.
Damn.
But because I got into the habit of trading, I was like, okay, I take the profits, even 200 or 300. But even though I got in the habit of practice of taking profits, now I'm able to make a decision now to take the profits out of my house, and get that 2 to 3, 400, 5 equity, whatever, how much it's going to be. But what I'm saying is it's stupid that we stay in the house for 30 years. But if it wasn't for you, implanting this in my head, man, I would have stayed in that house and been suffering going to work every day. And just, I ended up quitting my job, by the way. So,
oh, damn. Did you? So what are you doing now, Mr. Lloyd?
I'm retired, man.
Wow. Wow. Are you serious? Well, I mean, look, I know you had a federal job. You've been there for a while. So, let's not. I don't want to give anybody out there the wrong, opinion. Mr. Lloyd is caked up. Mr. Lloyd is caked up. So don't go running and quitting your job or something like that.
No. I mean, when I met you, basically you gave me the power, the knowledge to say, hey, there's another way of you to surviving out here. And typically people, when they, you gave me just a different mindset of thinking. And because I never thought about trading my whole entire life, but now this is an alternative to. I just kept this in my head. So okay, I can retire if I just stay focused on this, stay focused, and sure enough, I'm going to do it, man. I mean, I did it already, and sometimes it's just hard pushing that button. But there'll be more since you're back on the air, man. I'm gonna start calling in more, but I'm settling down, trying to get everything finalized here. But you'll hear from me real soon, man. I just wanted to say thanks, and I mean, I remember that INMV issue. Remember talking about INMV?
Oh, hell yeah, yes, indeed.
So every time I walk in the house, all I think about is INMV. I think, you know what? I'm not about to do INMV today. I'm taking my money out this house right now.
That's it, man. That's it. You learned your lesson. I mean, those of you guys in the chat room who were here at the beginning, Mr. Lloyd's story. He had made over $5,000 in this stock and basically sat on the profit until basically it was all gone. So. I mean,
right.
But it was a learning lesson, and now he's made way more money than that loss. So I mean, we're all happy for you, Mr. Lloyd, and take care of whatever take care of. Man.
And listen, man, I'm gonna take care of you one of these days, man. Just hold on, okay? Just stand by.
Bro. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. I'll hit you later, man.
All right, then. Thanks a lot, Mr.
All right,
Lloyd.
thanks. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Mr. Lloyd done went out and quit his job. Mr. Lloyd had a federal job. I know he's a veteran. He had a federal job. So, please don't run out there and quit your job. Mr. Lloyd can go back to work easily. Once you're on that federal payroll, it's pretty easy to get back put on. Okay. Please, if you got a good job, keep your job. Mr. Lloyd is caked up. He plays nice with it, but he got money.
Supreme victory.
But that's definitely a supreme victory. I got another caller. Ken, what's going on, man?
Ken, I'm down in sunny Boynton Beach, Florida. It's beautiful down here. How are you?
Good, Ken. Enjoying your what was those profits? You made the profits recently. I saw the tweets. What's the one? You just made a killing on something. What was that you sent me?
Oh, boy.
Look,
God, which one? There's so many. Was it marijuana? Was it
NBEV? I think it was NBEV, right? You made
no, it was right. I did. The NBEV that went from like $1.50 to $10 in a week, within a week.
Yeah.
And this was around the end of September, early October.
I know you're enjoying that money and enjoying your time down there.
Thank you.
Ken, let us know. I mean, what's the next hot stock for us, man? We want some other people to share the wealth.
It's hard to recommend right now because I'm in these marijuana stocks. The KG here, three of them: KG, PURA, FRLF. Look at those three.
Okay.
We know that Canada's legalizing marijuana this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Today, I think is like. Yeah, sure.
Let's take a look at KG first. Obviously, this one has already made a big move, but again, we know this could just be the beginning of something here. You're saying we're not too late here, right?
Yeah, but the only thing is, by Wednesday, I think Wednesday, a lot of the marijuana is going to sell off because that's the catalyst, the legalization of marijuana in Canada, Wednesday the 17th.
Okay.
And if you watch the chart guys, the guy who does those videos, the chart guys, the guy from Iceland, and he's thinking late Tuesday or Wednesday, that's when these things will finally. This is like a blow off top on a lot of these stocks right now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, these are all taken off. I mean, if you check out the website Marijuana Index, you see both on the U.S. and Canadian side. Obviously, the Canadians have seen the most of the run, but both sides, of the divide, they're both making a killing. I just congratulated on Twitter, people who are in CVSI. CVSI, marijuana-based play, more of a CMD. It's up over 2,200% in the year. So we understand now. I mean, this literally this time last year it was a 27-cent stock. Now it's sitting at $5.90. So there's got to be a CVSI millionaire out there somewhere. I want to interview them. But look, these marijuana stocks are for real. And if you catch one and you hold one, it could really run. So we're seeing now many of them in the pennies. Who knows? One of the ones that you just brought up, KG, Pura, these could be one-day stocks
far
that we're
left.
seeing above $1.
Right. So you can have a core and have a trading position. That's the
Absolutely.
best advice I could give everyone.
That's all you can
That
do.
way you don't. Right. How about IGC? Look at that piece of crap. It really is a piece of, a dollar went from 1 to 15 in what, a week?
Yeah.
Now
And
it's back at 4.
just a week. I mean, and those shorts, those shares to short went quick, and sure enough, I mean, obviously you got a lot of bag holders on Twitter. Bag holder quotes was having a good time with this stock. But again, really feel sorry for the people who, lost on that one. But at the end of the day, you got to be winners and losers. And IGC now settled back here in the 5s and trying to hold here.
Right. Just getting off the marijuana. I also played the EARS ears.
Yeah, ears.
Wow.
Yeah, ears. Interesting.
I think I brought this up on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it hit today. It didn't hold the 200.
196.
Yeah. I mean, but I understand it was hot, right? I mean, it got to a point where RSI, it hit almost like 90, 91 or something like that. So I understand guys didn't want to buy the high, but, now being squeezed after hours. Guys are squeezing it after hours.
Right.
So I think tomorrow morning,
Correct.
You're going to get a nice pop on here. We'll see.
And Wednesday at 10 a.m. is their conference or whatever, something with the FDA, whatever that means. I don't know, but who cares? It's momentum on that right now.
Absolutely.
Also bringing to your, remember we talked about PRED on Friday, PRED. Look at that, sneaking on up.
Yeah, PRD, nice move today. Holding that 200. I mean, they needed to make it happen. It's bounced off this line before. No news. So, look, it was a nice move
coming,
today.
Don't worry.
Decent. Yeah, they need some news. I mean, they could use some good news right now. Not a hiring or anything like that, but a real serious.
Form 10, please.
Yeah, so Form 10, serious product development type of news. But decent volume today, 270,000 shares on a $1.70 stock. That's good money for an OTC. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
And one more, Sal. Are you playing any of the JNUG? I played some of that. I sold it this morning, JNUG at 970. With the market selling off at the end of the day and unease in the markets, I think you can do well with that JNUG.
Yeah,
Look at
JNUG is a
creative
nice one.
volume.
JNUG is a nice one. I was, juggling between JNUG and TVIX last week, and I went with TVIX because the money was coming in a little faster on TVIX.
Right.
But JNUG is a nice, solid move. Right now, I mean, whether you go with this ETF or you go with the individual components of it, LODE and some of these other small junior miners that are really dirt cheap, that could benefit again when this particular precious metal starts running.
Yeah, good stuff. Mm-hmm. Great. It's a great time to make money right now. Boy.
Absolutely.
With the volatility. So, all right. I appreciate everything.
Appreciate you, Ken. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your trip, man.
Take care. Yep.
All right. So shout out to Ken. I see Bats in the chat room. What's going on, man? SEC trader, Deon Jackson, Eban R. Shout out to Jeff the Mean Marine in the building. Candace Thomas, hello. Three Hooks, hello. Adam P. Bank. Anybody I don't see? Gregory Hall, what's going on? Anybody in the chat room? I appreciate all of you for watching. And again, put your tickers in the chat room or call up if you got some tickers you want us to take a look at. So we'll just be jumping around here. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, now we're looking for a bottom here. And I think we're close. We're very close. The market's going exactly how I figured it would go. I figured that we would continue to sell off. I believed that on, Friday. I made a quick video about that before I went live. I said we were going to continue to sell off. My big hold over the last week and a half has been PayPal. I don't know. I was just feeling it. Although I wish I got into NVIDIA today. NVIDIA, huge loser. I mean, I saw these NVIDIA puts go up like $4 or $5 today. Man, I really missed the move on that. But again, solid move down for a PayPal. Again, that's, now below the 200 moving average on PayPal. We got Netflix is another one I watched today. That one's holding. The 200 here. So looking for some kind of support, maybe a possible bounce here in the future. I don't know. I got to get the earnings date. I know we're close, right? I know we're coming up on that, unless it could be as soon as tomorrow. J.P. Morgan is tomorrow, as well as Goldman Sachs, I believe, as well as Goldman Sachs. Interesting, those are both coming out during the housing number. We're going to get that housing number tomorrow, see what the starts were, seeing whether or not, young people are buying homes or people in general buying homes. We'll see with that. It was a really pretty bleak news on the Bank of America earnings report today, showing loan requests were going down. All right, their books did not increase as big as expected, as big as did not grow as expected over the period, this period quarter. All right. Morgan Stanley says this is the beginning. Yeah, it could very well be. Look, you got a lot of expensive stocks out there. And you got a lot of guys who are going to ride this down, because at the end of the day, as I've talked about in the previous show, the 1% doesn't want to pay the taxes on the gains, guys. These guys are up huge over the last 10 years. They're going to ride this down. So this is an opportunity for those of you like me who don't have 10 million liquid sitting around. You can make a lot of money riding many of these stocks down 30, 40, 50%, like 2008, like 2009, if we're going to see a similar type of move. If we're going into that kind of, quote, recession, right? Right? These guys are not going to sell. They've got huge positions. They're in heavy. They don't want to pay the taxes on the gains, and they're going to just ride it. They're going to ride it, right? And that's where you can make money. All right, what's going on, Don Will? Yes, indeed. 772. I think this is Treasure Hunter. What's going on, man?
Yep. Man, what's up, Sal? What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on with you? I appreciate you, brother. What you got for the fans, man?
Huh?
What tickers you got for us?
Oh, shit, man. What do you mean tickers, man? I'm just sitting back kicking it. Congratulations. You back on the air. You hit me with tickers. Oh, shit.
I appreciate you. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I mean, are you not trading anymore? What's up?
Oh, man, let me stop fucking with you, man. Yeah, I'm still trading. Let me see. I recently, I've been some pumps, like, been, how can I say, jumping on the bandwagon on some pumps and, to see what these other little OTC chat rooms got going on. But one pump that I made a nice little fortune on, it's not pumped up right now. You know how recently with some been pumped, and then, we throw something in it, then, later on down the line it might get pumped again and make a little fortune, was URSL. It doesn't hold, send the gains, but every time they pump that bitch up, I made a nice little fortune on that. So I just sit back and camp on it. I got the camping money and I got the flip money. So the URSL, I sit back camping on it right now because it's just sideways. I'm still up on them. Like I said, I waited for a minute for them to get this low. So I'm thinking it might make a pop. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a risky play, man. I mean, very little volume. Obviously, I do see it's got that caveat emptor. So buyer beware, basically, stamp here on OTC markets.
My bad. I've been underground for a minute with OTC, especially where the market is. I feel pretty safe with OTCs. Like I said, I've been. Thanks to your show, I've been, trading for a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. The OTC kept me in the game. But go ahead, Sal.
No, I appreciate you calling, man. Again, check out the previous video that I just did on Trep, that you might want to link up with him on Twitter or something if you're on there, so you can really get a grasp of some of these, and with Ken calling and whatnot. He's on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
too.
well,
you really want to get on those OTCs that are really moving. Stocks that you don't have to hold and hope for. You can be in the vibe as they're moving.
That's the camper. But I do got the other movers that I'm watching also that I didn't jump in yet. But I'm just figure out which one I'm gonna jump into, and I'm thinking about. The way the market is right now, I'm thinking about the Bitcoin. Cause I remember I made a nice little lick on him too. Was it a BCTS? Looked like it's doing pretty good. made a nice little pop, so might jump back into Bitcoin the way the market is. I know people thinking about going to back there gold and silver, all that, this and that, but I think Bitcoin might end up making a little pop again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a theory out there that if things go sour, Bitcoin could be, protection against the fall. Look, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still worth more than $1. So Bitcoin has more value than $1 US. So Bitcoin still has value, and it's holding really well here. It's moving. It's kind of coming back here slowly, or at least it's just kind of found some kind of a floor to work with. And again, we can't forget that, there are, OTC Bitcoin plays out there. I think Riot Blockchain is still out there, isn't it? Isn't Riot Blockchain? Yeah, Riot Blockchain is still out there. That had a decent move the other day, again, when Bitcoin made, I think, $1,000 move out of nowhere, not too long, a couple days ago or something. Was that yesterday or something like that? He made a huge move. But those plays are out there. Obviously,
go ahead, Sal.
No, there's just there's a bigger macro issue there, but those are plays to watch as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say you broke my heart, Sal, because we jumped in the OT when we started the show. We started out with the OTC, made a nice little lick. But I know you big time now. You made your show. Now Sal's like, man, bump OTCs now, man. I'm with the big cap.
Not at all. I mean,
I've got where I came from.
We're giving love to both, but at the end of the day, you get to a certain level where you've made an amount where you want to see it grow a bit more safely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, the way
the 20 to 30% up and down, on certain amounts, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, on $700, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, I get it, but when you're talking, 5 figures, 4 figures, high and 9,000, 10,000, 20,000. I don't want to put that kind of money on BTCS. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of makes sense to be a little bit more conservative with that kind of exposure. But hey, Treasure Hunter, appreciate the call, man. I got to keep the show moving, bro.
All right, man. You got it, man. Congratulations, Sal. Good to hear from you again, bro.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Crypto options. Look. It's an hour show. You guys, the numbers on the screen, we give love to anything. We had a guy ask why I don't show love to Forex. Nobody calls up and talks about it. Every time we've wanted to go into something new or introduce something, we'd had an expert come in and explain it to us. And if you are a Forex expert, right, you got a little page or a little following and you want to talk about it, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll give you some time. Yeah, I'll give you some time. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Stock God? Need to learn option trading? Any links? Optionalpha.com. Optionalpha.com. He's got a free course, 12 courses. I think it's like 6 hours, man. It's a shitload. All right. Tracing Young, what's going on with Pura? I don't know what's going on with Pura. Ken called up about it. We did mention that, very similar chart to KG. The OTCs are just going crazy, man. Again, tread wisely. But these kind of plays, you gotta get in them early. That's why OTC, you either in it or you're not. You're either in it or you're not, because once they move, they're gone, man. And then you can easily become a bag holder here if you're not careful. All right? You got to really catch up on these early. Yeah, Tasty Trade is another one. Shout out to Tasty Trade. All right? So let's keep it moving. We were looking for stocks that are looking for a bottom here. One of them, I got to say, is possibly NVIDIA. Could be close. But breaking below that 200 moving average here definitely, brings a kind of a danger sign here. But, man, I wish I jumped on these puts today on NVIDIA because, man, they awesome value on NVIDIA. I think down over 60% on the calls. 60% on the calls. I saw almost $4 or $5 on some of those in the money puts just for this week. So I can only imagine what the deep in the money calls went for. So shout out to guys who played NVIDIA on the put side today. Yeah, Apple as well. Apple, big loser as well as Apple, but NVIDIA was the one. That was the cash cow today. That was the cash cow. Saw that happen on Black Box, and a few $5,000, $10,000 profit days for the traders who were in the chat room. PTOTF. I got a video coming out on PTOTF. I still need to do some research on it. I think PTOTF is just another fuzz, man. It's just another fuzz. OTC stock selling the dream of, this defense contract type of play. In fact, speaking of defense contract, we just had two major contractors come today to become now the third largest defense contractor in the world today. I can't remember the name of the companies. You can look them up. But they merged today. PTOTF doesn't have anywhere near the kind of cash to seriously compete in defense, all right, at all. But the pump is on. The pump is on. The volume is relatively light. That tells me that once one large shareholder decides he's off, this thing is going to come falling down. And they are shares available to short on Interactive Brokers. I'm paying attention to it. The volume isn't there yet. But PTOTF, in my opinion, is a disaster waiting to happen. But time will tell. All right, it could very well continue to go higher. SEC Trader, he said, nice play I posted on Friday. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And that was still a money maker today. On SPY. Again, buying those deep in the money puts. Again, you're not able to buy a shit ton of them because they're more expensive, but your break even is so much smaller. You get into profitability so quick. All right. And I know a lot of people just love the Friday expiration and the quick money, but I love a deep in the money call that's a month out, 2 month out. Yes, it's more expensive, but a 10-cent break even, and all of a sudden I'm making profit. I'm willing to pay extra for that. It's worked out for me. All right. Let's talk AMD. Nice play on AMD. We were enjoying a very nice rally on AMD before it broke below that 50 RSI. Obviously, again, if you use those smaller time frames, it broke below a little bit earlier. You caught the move where really back on September the 28th. All right, where's the 25 moving average? Right, so about right. The 28th exactly. Yep, just right. And that would have been a pretty good short. There were some fakes going on, but again, successfully below that 25. Kind of creep up now, but AMD, again, you're going to have to do your research on it. Had a really aggressive move. The stock's up well over 100%. Well, at one time was up over 100% for the year. Now crawling back a little bit here. So sideways day for the most part for AMD. So you let me know where AMD is going. All right. RIP, unfortunately, to Sears. RIP to Sears today. E-commerce, the free market wins again, ladies and gentlemen. Toys R Us, goodbye. Sears, goodbye. And look, this is not the beginning. We're going to see a lot more of these companies that me and you grew up with. They're going to be going bye-bye. All right, they're going to be going bye-bye. It's only a matter of time for Macy's. It's only a matter of time for Foot Locker. It's only a matter of time for many of these brand name chains that me and you grew up with to go bye-bye. And I honestly believe that. I don't see a path for Macy's over the next 10 years. I don't see where they fit into the economy. All right? Bye-bye Sears. I will miss the Craftsman commercials. They had pretty good Craftsman commercials because there's something manly about working on cars, man. I remember the first time I changed an alternator. Man, that's the manliest feeling in the world when you do something on your car, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but just the grease and, screwing it and everything like that. I fucked it up. First I fucked it up. I was like just touching everything. So I had one of my homeboys come in and, he kind of helped me out with it. But so YouTube videos are not a good idea if you don't know anything about cars and just trying to get under there. But yeah, there's something manly about some Craftsman tools and working on your car. POTN, big runner. Beginning of the year, obviously things have calmed down for that, but we know the marijuana sector is, really hot right now. Again, the Canadian plays are pretty much where the money really is, but POTN, this is a stock that I promoted. I promoted almost 2 years ago now. Boy, I could have made a whole lot of money with POTN holding that. I think I promoted it from 1 to 4 cents, something like that. Now at 27 cents. 919 Bats, what's going on, man?
Hey, Sal. Welcome back, sir.
Appreciate you, Bats. Thank you so much, man. How's everything been for you?
Yeah, everything's been good. I want to keep this call short just to welcome you back and just to say how much, personally for me, I've really appreciated you, and to just, I just wonder how you do it, sir. You've hosted your show for a long time now, and, for me, having hosted a Discord room for just 6 months, I don't know how you do it. I mean, because people just, the backstabbing, the noise, all of that, I really don't. I've come to gain an appreciation for what you've done for myself, for everyone in the group. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, Bats. I mean, dealing with people's personalities. I mean, I had to bring my intro back because I got an email from a guy who wants to, he was threatening to sue me. He's been threatening to sue me for 10 years in every damn OTC stock I talk about.
Oh, boy.
I'm still waiting. You know who you are. I'm still waiting for you to file something. But, it's just hilarious.
I don't know.
It's just absolutely hilarious.
I don't know how you do it, but you've blessed many of us. Connor and I the other day were talking about you and saying, where is Saul? Thank God, you were in Africa visiting. It was good to see you back. But I just want to extend, my appreciation for you. And if I ever wronged you in the past, because I know what it feels like, even though I've hosted, a Discord room for just 6 months, but I don't know how you're able to do it day after day, year after year. So I'm in your corner, sir, and for what you've done for a lot of us, I'm not even surprised that you just didn't, just go away and, form another group somewhere else. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, and it is very difficult what you do, sir. It's extremely difficult just dealing with the crap day in and day out. I have to sometimes run out of my own group because I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So anyway, we can talk about, because I'm still trading the SPY, but let's just leave that for another time. Okay. Welcome back, sir, and totally appreciate you. What you do is very hard. And a message to everyone in the group, what Sal does, what a lot of hosts do on their show is extremely difficult. Until you actually host your own show, I don't think anyone should pass any judgment on you. I don't think, until you've done it yourself and been through the day-to-day crap that exists, I totally respect you and welcome back. I just needed to tell you how much I appreciate you, and there are dozens of people on my group that appreciate you. So thank you and welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Bats. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Bat Scientist. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, look, this is hard, man, because, people are trading their money. They're putting their dreams on the line. And when you are the most visible person that they can kind of lash out at, I mean, I get the emails. I get the emails. I have gotten them for years. So after a while, it comes with the territory. But I appreciate, how it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me having to, be in front of these companies and, to know what I'm talking about. Because there are people out there who are grimy, man, who are grimy people, But for the most part, it's way more positives than negatives. And if you focus on the positives, whatever group or chat room you're in, focus on the positives. Focus on the positives. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Woody Wright? Patrice Jameson, appreciate you. 3 hooks. Kenny Dunn. What's going on, Kenny? All right. Y'all know the number, 305-600-2896. Let's keep a look. Let's keep taking a look again. We're gonna get a bounce. I don't want to say the housing number is going to be bad tomorrow, but it could be bad. It could be bad. All right, and that's why I said IWM was going to bounce today, and sure enough, it did bounce. But I think it's just, again, another opportunity to short these because IWM is full of crappy companies. 559, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Sal? This is Rich here.
Hey, Rich, what's up, man?
Hey, man, thank you for posting the video, the 5-6 minute video. It got 130 views in an hour, so the interest is definitely there. One thing I want to tell the viewers is this. I ran PBYA. I played a solid role in it. I pulled all-nighters, did all the DD, told everybody. And there were notes in there, but the stock went up 200%. The dollar volume was 1.4 million, and it just blew up. You could have thrown 10,000 and get 20, 30,000 in. And what I learned from that is I shared that with everybody, and it got the wrong groups in it, people that like to manipulate by ask stacking and bringing it down. The second one I ran was MOMT. It went from 30 cents to $1.50. Mm-hmm. Huge volume. You could have gotten out. And what I learned from that was, hey, man, I got to start my own team, meaning at least shareholders that will not get shaken by bashers. And what I want to say about Trep, you guys, is somebody called in Mr. Cal, I believe, maybe I'm mispronouncing his name. He said the cannabis sector is going to be having a solid pullback around Wednesday, and I know about this too. And what I would like to share with people that are watching is, dude, one, just try to accumulate Trep on the bid. I'm not even telling you to hit the ask because that means I'm selling you my shares, right? Just bid for shares, accumulate. Try not to be a flipper. Try to accumulate. Try to do a swing play with this. And what's going to happen is there are people that are up 300, 400, 500%, meaning people that have been holding for a year and plus. They're selling out right now. If you read the VWAP, you guys, the VWAP has stayed above around 4 cents and above. So those guys are profiting. We're building a solid base here. And after 9 cents, it's supposed to be blue sky breakouts. And I think we're going to test 10 cents. We're going to have a pullback to around 7 and 6 cents for support. And then it's game over. The fundamentals are behind this company. This company's done over 10 million in sales in the semi-annual earnings, meaning the last 6 months of 2017 and first 6 months of 2018. They've done over 10 million in sales. If the stock hits 20 cents, the market cap would be 20 million. All I'll say is try to accumulate for a few days, and I got about solid 5 guys that trust. What our game plan is when these stocks are going to have a pullback, and they are, the marijuana, all that money needs to go somewhere. We're going to private message hundreds of people on Investor Hub. We're going to hit every Investor Hub board on about fundamentals and technical analysis, and we're going to spread the word. I have not finished the Investor Hub intro box yet. I've been a little sick, lack of sleep, but 2-3 days, just try to accumulate, guys. This thing is extremely thin and it moves. There's a reason a lot of the big boys aren't talking. One last thing, Thursday, when the stock really took off, the dollar volume was 125,000. The stock went up 250%. Friday of last week, the dollar volume was 217,000 and it went up another 100%. from the 250%. And the whole last week, the dollar volume was only $240,000, guys. I'm talking 5 trading days, and the VWAP stayed 4 cents and above, okay? Monday today was $38,000 dollar volume. And this stock's going to have, if this stock has $500,000 volume, dude, we're going way past 20 cents because I feel now is the time to accumulate. My average is 0.025. You know, I am up 100%. I put 12.5 G's in. I'm over 25,000. But I feel this is the one company that you can really bank by letting traders trade and push it higher. Remember the history of the company, zero dilution in the life of the company. And thank you, Sal, again. And thank you for doing that video. And my goal is to get you more. Dude, you have 22,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube. Why do you need more followers on Twitter, man? Because you're an honest guy, and not a lot of people out there like that.
I appreciate you, bro. I had a Twitter account. Unfortunately, it got deleted, but hacked and then deleted. But yeah, I'm building that back up now. But yeah, I appreciate you, Rich Million. Thanks for the call, man.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. That Twitter, I'll build it back up. My focus, of course, is YouTube. But yeah, shout out to the people who follow me on Twitter. If you're not, Got Penny Stocks, GOT Penny Stocks. Follow me there on Twitter. Look. At the end of the day, guys, if you want to follow these OTCs, you got to be in those chat rooms. You know, he mentioned iHub. That's the place to be. That's the place to be if you want to catch these early. And, you know, by the sound of his voice, he says, you know, this is just the beginning. Time will tell. Time will tell. All right? Time will tell. Many of the stocks that Ken brought up, the Pura, the KG, they were all, as you can see, at one time trading at a penny, 2 cents. So, you know, we see what it can do. We see what it can do. And if those of you out there who are working with, you know, small amounts of money, you don't have more than $1,000, you don't have even $2,000, OTCs might be, and you're willing to risk, OTCs might just be for you. All right. What's going on, Jeff? You got any plays for me, man? Yeah, hit that like button. I appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Again, I was going into IWM. Let me tell you something right now. When it comes to you know, these plays in the Russell 2000, again, just Russell 2000 components or IWM components. Sometimes it's bar chart. Bar chart is a really good one that'll break these ETFs apart, where you can see what's inside of these plays, the actual companies, not just the breakdown of the percentage of what sector is how much. But finance is a big part of the Russell 2000. And when we're talking about finance, we're not talking the Bank of America's or the JP Morgans of the world. We're talking about small regional banks. You're talking about small finance companies that are incredibly sensitive to the interest rate, right? And I'm telling you, when these small businesses are affected, because they're dealing with middle America who can't afford, you know, to be paying more on their homes or paying more on their small business loans, they're going to default. It's going to hurt them. And this is a possibility where IWM could be a big, big, big winner. All right. We just pull the chart back. I mean, I can go into a higher time frame. Let's go to a weekly just to show you what kind of a monster this has been since 2009 and the kind of profit potential that there possibly could be when we look at a play like IWM. You know, when shit goes to hell, you want to find the week of the week. You know, the week of the week. So the Russell 2000 and many of these plays, your mid cap, 500 million or 250 million to $1 billion, that's a very weak point. Not all of them. Some of them got great books, but that's a big weak point. And, you know, do some due diligence and you can profit big, shorting, buying puts, and positioning yourself there. All right. And on Wednesday's show, I'm going to, because I'm still doing research, I'm going to bring up a couple plays that are liquid that some of you are going to be able to profit because they've got some pretty shitty books. All right. The dude that called up also nailed Peabody. Yeah. Rich Mill, he knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. All right. Anybody who's in ears? I know Ken talked about it, but do we have anybody in the chat room who was really playing this stock into this run here? All right, let me zoom in closer. All right, anybody who was playing it into this run here? I mean, missed opportunity for me. I had money elsewhere. This has just got to be one of those dream plays you see building, but you just don't believe in it because it's running. You're thinking, oh, I'm lost, I'm behind, I'll never be able to, and then you just see it going and going and going. I mean, literally, this stock went from, what is that, 32 cents, 30 cents to a high of over $2. I mean, insane gain. I gotta give it a supreme victory.
Supreme victory.
One more time.
Supreme victory.
So shout out to Ears. I did see the move in GLBS today too. That was insane too. But GLBS. I didn't even know what the news was. What the news was about? Reverse. Okay, it was a reverse split. I'm seeing here. Okay. So that could be eaten alive tomorrow. We'll see. If you remember, Dries was doing those tactics for a while too. CORN. Jeff Demi Marine. CORN. Healthcare stock. VATE. 11.8 brands. Don't know much about it. Don't know too much about those. So give me a call. Yeah, CVSI, huge play. 600% since April. 2,000% since this time last year. No reverse splits. No funny business. Just a company that got investors to love what they're doing, fall in love with the stock, buy the stock, hold the stock, and it's made a killing so far. So shout out to CVSI. They did it right. And we're going to see that over and over. I mean, how many times have we seen it? How many times have we seen stocks from the OTC, from the NASDAQ? They start out, people laughing at them. Nobody takes them seriously. Next thing you know, this is well over $1, well over $2, and you could have had it at 19 cents, 17 cents. I talked earlier about some of the gold plays. He mentioned, Ken mentioned JNUG. Some of these gold plays, I'm telling you right now, if this market does in fact sell off, they're going to run. LODE. I mean, these don't have the best books, but when precious metals starts to gain value, they're obviously in the business of digging this thing out of the ground. They're going to gain value. LODE, MUX, that's another one that's a mover in times of distress. All right, so look at those gold plays. I mentioned a little bit on Friday. They'll run. They will run. All right. So you might want to look at mining. And they're cheap. I mean, some of these are just dirt cheap stocks right now. What is this? AAU. Just dirt cheap stocks. I don't know this is unusual volume for the stock today. I just wanted to peep that out. So not the biggest one I would look at. The Canadian ones are nice. All right, so let me find one that's going to be a more solid volume play. Right, something like a CDE. I like this one. Decent volume. Right, not the cheapest in the world. It's $5, but something like that can take off when things really move for gold. All right, but again, you can get cheaper. What's my take on Ford? I didn't know that Ford had a stake in Tesla. That recently came out in an article. I had no idea that Ford had a stake in Tesla at all. But look, a couple months ago, they announced that they were getting pretty much rid of all their cars. They're pretty much a small SUV platform maker from now on. I don't know what's going on with Ford. What I do know is that, I don't know if Ford, someone who grew up in Detroit, can sustain the kind of operations that they have right now in Michigan, and I think across the country. I think Ford could become a smaller player. I know their operations. I don't know what the deal is in terms of their operations, but these car companies, Ford, GM, competition is changing. Competition is changing, right? And I think they could be losers long term because we haven't seen the switch to the cars of what I think the cars of the future could be, right? More fuel efficient. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe you guys have a more educated opinion than I do, but I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in what I've seen in some of the American car makers over the last 5 years. I thought we'd see something a little bit more of a Prius type. Maybe it's a stronger play on that. We haven't seen it yet. Hold Ford and GE till next year. We'll see. GE might be that one that could change. Thank you for bringing up GE. GE could be a surprising play here. It was really interesting to see GE hold double digits here. I mean, it found the floor at 11 a couple weeks ago, or almost a week and a half ago, and it's been trying its best to not go into those single digits, fighting for its life right now. So we'll see. We'll see. SEC Trader, as long as it stays on whatever side I'm bidding on, right? Because once you get in, let me see, where's the 25? This is probably a poor example just because it's been trailing. All right, let's look for a good example of that 25. All right, for example, let's say this play, because remember, it's the 50 and the 25, and I'm mentioning this to SEC Trader because he's trying to figure out using the 50 RSI, right, and then the 25 moving average. If you were to go long and say, okay, this is a buy, I'm going to go long, how long do I stay in the trade? And I stay in the trade as long as the stock stays above the 50 RSI and the 25 moving average. If it's just a one-day thing, it's a one-day thing. This is a daily chart. So the very next day, if we're back above it, then of course I'm not selling. And I'm just going to continue to ride it until we get a full break beneath the average. So you're not going to sell the top. You're not going to catch the top. It's not about catching the top. It's about getting in where the stock is making a possible long-term run above a moving average. It's basically just a moving average strategy. That's all. I don't want to complicate things, so I want to stay, on against the things. But SEC Trader, hit me up if you want to talk one-on-one about it, and we can really explain, or I'll put a video out there. That's what I really should do, put a video out there about it. That's what I should do. GE as a brand is confusing. Exactly, Kenny Dutton. GE as a brand is very confusing because I don't know what it is. I don't know if GE is a railroads company. I don't know if they're a transportation company. I don't know if they're a data mining company because they've got footprints in all of those industries. Semiconductors. GE is everything. They literally are a conglomerate. And if you remember, they used to own NBC. So they had media. I mean, they were everything at one time. MNGA. Let me get rid of the 200 moving average. This one's just beating the crap out of this. Way low. MNGA, Magna Gas. And every time I bring up Magna Gas, I always announce this because They had a guy who worked there, and I know I've said this story several times, who got incinerated. The man fell into one of their, molten thing and literally incinerated alive. Can you imagine that? Oh, God. They kind of low-key hid the story. You got to look for the story a little bit. But a man fell in, and he was literally incinerated in their plant. Very, very disturbing. Very disturbing. So every time somebody brings up this thing, that's like the first thing that comes to my mind. As long as you reinvest your dividends. Oh, yeah, there's still GE millionaires out there. Oh, yes, indeed. Please believe there's still GE millionaires. There are people who, well, I don't know. Now you're probably not so much of a millionaire if you were a GE millionaire. Speaking of that, let me just take a look at that. I don't know. Maybe not so much anymore, but yeah, maybe not so much anymore. I mean, yeah, you had a great ride in the 80s. Here the 90s. Yeah, probably no more GE millionaires. They've probably been sold out of that piece of crap. But I mean, what a story if they get it right, though, right? What a story that would be if they get it right. What a story if they get it right. All right, so before we wrap up the show, I saw you bring up Candace Thomas Visa. I've got a sell on MasterCard. I got to check out Visa here in just a second, but I got a sell here on MasterCard. This one's fighting for its life too. This is another one. That if the market goes south, you're going to be a big winner on the put side. Those defaults are going to be just crazy. The American people, we love credit to our detriment. And you got some people out here who are leveraged up the tilt. I mean, they buy everything on credit. Their whole life is credit. And when things start going south, when we start having layoffs, we just announced, as I mentioned, somebody brought up Ford. They're already laying off. They're blaming the tariffs. Bullshit. Ford had issues with, again, just being an old company that has over 100,000 retirees still alive, still using healthcare, still paying them money every single month. So they're blaming the tariffs, but it's so much bigger than the tariffs when you talk about Ford, GM, and those. But anyway, MasterCard, they're going to be another big loser. I mean, can you tell I'm just eating up this pullback. Whatever this is, I'm just eating it up just because I know this is like our time, man. This is like our time. I wasn't here for 2009. I wasn't here for 2008. I was an idiot at the time, didn't know anything about trading. I thought investing was for smart people who, went to Harvard or Yale. And if I was to ever buy a stock, it would be like one share of Walmart because that's where my parents do their groceries. But now I'm in it, man. This is what I've been waiting for. So I'd love to see this. I don't want to see soup lines. No, let's not get it twisted. I don't want to see soup lines. I don't want to see anybody on the street pulling out knives because you've got, a pack of crackers or something like that. I don't want to see that type of shit. But I do want to see a major correction. Oh no, I don't want to see any of those soup lines from the 1920s. Those were, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're not dealing with a population that is as polite as people in the 1920s. You see how polite, when you look at those depression pictures, people are so polite and they're just standing in line waiting for their bowl of soup. Who's next? Oh, can you imagine that happening today? Oh God. Oh man. I mean, you're gonna have to bring your gun with you to go get some soup. You're gonna have to bring your gun with you to go and get some soup. And if you got some money, you're gonna drive to a nice neighborhood to go get the soup. Because if you got to go to the hood to get the soup, I mean, God help you. DARE. DARE up 17%. Up 17%. I don't know what the move is. You know the number, 305-600-2896. You're going to have to let me know what's going on with that one. Shirley Lewis, appreciate you. BTG. Oh, man. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Crime would go out of this world. A major depression like the 1920s? Oh, man. You know, and forget the police, because you got to understand, you know, many of these cities are heavily leveraged too. They don't got the money to pay. So you're going to have some of these officers who are going to be in the bread lines with us. You know, most of these cities, go to California. Many of these cities are broke. Some of you may live in a city that's broke. You know? I've gone to those you know, community planning commissions and whatnot. If you sit in those meetings and you see how leveraged your city is, you know, it's ridiculous. We've been playing a dangerous game with credit, man. And we're going to pay for it. And just because you're a government employee don't mean you're safe either. Man, please, Donald Trump will fire your ass so damn quick. I could see him doing it right now. Oh, we don't have the money, unfortunately. Everyone in the Department of Education, I'm sorry, this is your last day. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know? It is what it is. What's going on, Chris McKinney? He said, yeah, Detroit's been broke for a long time, man. Look, you know, Detroit, they already told you, again, as someone who grew up there, they can't even do their rape kits. That's why Detroit is one of the rape capitals of America. You can go there, rape somebody, and not even going to investigate. All they're going to do is give you, bring you into the office. They're going to talk to you, you being the victim, give you a couple Kleenex to wipe your face, and all right, ma'am, we'll do our best to find out what happened. And that's it. Just look up that article, 3,000 to 30,000 rape kits. Something ridiculous like that. Yeah, we looked at CRON, K-Mac. We looked that up. We looked at ears. Which, by the way, is being squeezed right now after hours. Those of you guys who came up on Tim Sykes' trading style, ears is a beautiful setup for a possible short, depending on how tomorrow goes. If ears, as we see right now, being tested after hours, so you're going to get the squeeze. If the squeeze doesn't show any strength, if we don't see buyers wanting those higher prices, it could be an incredible short tomorrow, a credible short opportunity on ears. It's going to be a lot of risk, but it's going to be a ton of money possibly could be made. I know something, as Ken announced on Wednesday. No, was it yeah, he said Wednesday. They're having some kind of announcement on Wednesday. So just know that that's out there as well. But for the day traders, if that's your thing, there could be a possible opportunity on ears. I mean, shit. I mean, the stock today got to $1.97, closed at $1.38. So there was money to be made on that today. Again, if shorting is your thing. All right, let's keep it going. HSGX, before we wrap the show up here. HSGX. And by the way, please press like on this video. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Share the video in your Twitter profiles and your stock groups if you can, please. I'm going to be making a lot more stock-specific videos, most people like my live show, but some stock-specific videos on my channel, just because they kind of work in terms of, the search kind of thing, algorithm, how that plays out, having these OTC stocks out there. So, when people search for them 30 days, 60 days, 90 days out, the video comes out. So, for those of you guys who could care less about them, just ignore that. But I will be making those kind of videos, stock-specific videos, on some of these OTC plays out here. All right. Histogenics Corporation. It's a NASDAQ stock labeled as healthcare pharmaceuticals. Let's look at the... Yeah, I mean, the volume is pretty recent, man. But before that, as you can see here, not much has been going on. So you're going to have to let me know, P Bank. What's going on, P Bank? What's the deal with it? Yeah. Short little things, short little 4 or 5 minute videos on particular OTC companies. One of them being first is this small rent to own. That move today. It's a rent to own company. BTLN. I'm doing some more research on it, but they kind of popped out of nowhere. I mean, I'm trying to get somebody in there. There's not much going on here. But I'm trying to get somebody from the company to come talk, because they're doing something. And not saying go jump in the stock, not at all. It's just they're putting out a lot of info, and I'm starting to see their ads on I saw their ads on, maybe because I was doing research on them, so they kind of popped up in the middle. But I just kind of want to see what's going on with some of these OTC companies that I think the future could be bright for them. All right. And then I also want to talk about some stocks that are down in the dumps. I want to talk about Riot. I want to talk about BTCS. I want to talk about MJNA. I want to talk about MSIG. I want to talk about some of these plays that we all know about that nobody's talking about right now. And I want to be the guy to talk about them, so that when they start running again, people say, oh, shit. Will Ford ever recover? We'll see. But again, when you're talking about Ford, GM, you're talking about an old company with a lot of liabilities. A lot of liabilities. A demographic that doesn't really care for the name, right? A new buying generation that doesn't really care for Ford like that. Doesn't hesitate to buy Japanese, doesn't hesitate to buy Korean, right? And then when we talk about liabilities, these are retirees that are living longer and longer and longer, putting more demands on those books. RNVA, man, look, I don't give a fuck about this piece of shit anymore. RNVA, I'm so disappointed because I lost on RNVA. I'm so disappointed in them. I thought this turd was going to turn around because they bought all kind of hospitals, and where they bought the hospitals, they were in basically, zones where people who live there, many of them are on Social Security, many of them are on, government assistance. So I'm looking at it from a cash flow standpoint. It's like, oh, this is easy money. I mean, they're not being serviced by the private sector as well. This is an opportunity for the company to come in and buy this hospital, right? It was called South Fork Medical Center. And unfortunately, just couldn't turn it around. And it's just been diluted to shit. And it's just a big fucking turd now. It's just a big fucking turd. It's just a big fucking hot piece of steaming turd. Just like MGTI. But MGTI, I'm happy because I've got videos on my channel where I was talking about MGTI being a piece of shit. So I'm happy I had that out there. But I'm going to make another video about PTOTF, that being a piece of shit. So that when that falls apart, people can say, oh, well, he was right about it. MGTI was a real big piece of shit. And things went south for them because although they were a crypto miner and they had for a while they were the largest crypto miner in America, what they ended up doing wrong is they ended up starting a crypto mining operation in Sweden, and they spent well over almost $10 million doing that, and that's where they kind of fucked up at because they ended up selling a lot of more shares for a quarter, 25 cents or something. I mean, just really diluting the shares. Where they really messed up, if they stuck to what they were doing out here in Greensboro, North Carolina, they had a little shop there. They had all their miners there. They were doing everything the right way. Things wouldn't be as bad as they are now. So MGTI, great short for somebody who was in it, and I think again you got a lot of other tickers out there that could be just as weak. All right, MJETF, yeah, MJETF is a nice one, and we MJETF. If you remember, this one was struggling for a while. MJETF was struggling for a while. Again, I remember when it first came out. And we were really excited about this MJETF. The volume was thin. We really didn't get it. And all of a sudden, we really started seeing people participating. Sure enough, now look at this MJETF. It's really taken off here. And again, crossing that 50 RSI and, that 25 moving average. And it's been, boom, it's gone. It's just taken off. It's just taken off. All right, a couple fakes, but again, it's just really taken off since MJ, the alternative harvest ETF, bounced off the 50. Again, that's probably another buy signal. All right, and it's really taken off. Yeah, not every MJ play will move as aggressively, but many of them are. And you don't want to miss out on this opportunity, particularly the ones that are based in Canada. All right, particularly the ones that are based in Canada. The American ones are moving too, but the Canadian plays, ones with decent volume, those are the ones you really want to be on. Let me see here, SRNA. This is an American one. This one is kind of behind the times, but I'm watching this one because this very well could be one. When you have a sector that's hot and the other ones run aggressively, and people start looking for, okay, where's that value play? Where's that one that hasn't that's slowed up, that's been behind, but also has decent operations? SRNA could be that one. So watch SRNA here above the 50 RSI on the daily. This could be one where it could be the beginning of a run, and I think we'll see. I might get confirmed on that over the next week, 2 weeks on SRNA. It's been a mover before. It could very well do it again. We know how OTCs can be. All right. Appreciate you, Rich Million. Insight on RENN. All right, I know you guys can have me sitting here on an hour because I can talk stocks for hours. RENN. Don't know anything about the company, man. Less than 100,000 shares traded. Shit. Yeah, we got to get some volume in here. You got to get some volume in here. You don't want to get your money stuck in here. SNES. That's been a runner before. Healthcare stock. Don't know too much about it. Looks like it hasn't been going in the right direction. AMD, you're betting long? Look, the Qs have been one of the biggest losers, have been the biggest losers over the last week and a half. I don't want to touch anything that's a part of the Qs. I don't want to touch anything that's a part of the Qs until we get a bounce, and then it holds that bounce. I'm not convinced that it's all done for now because, again, I believe we still have a bounce left. This bull isn't going to die so easily. I still think there's a bounce coming. That's why I'm thinking if you're, I get it. Guys want to buy the dip. It's worked the last several times we've had a situation like this, but something tells me that it might not work this time. It might not work this time. Candace Owens, you said we're bouncing back. We are in Trump land. Look, I get it, but Trump is the president. But at the end of the day, if the math doesn't make sense, the math doesn't make sense. The federal government can't buy all the treasuries. They can't keep the stock market up. Plunge protection team can only do so much. Plunge protection team can only do so much. Again, they've got to do enough to where they don't, it's not obvious that they're holding it together. So they can only do so much. Tell us why I won't buy the dip. I don't want to buy the dip based on the sentiments, again, I've had coming into this week, that we are at all-time highs we were at all-time highs on many stocks. We're getting data now showing a weakening economy based on what these banks so far, JP Morgan, as well as Bank of America, suggested today, showing slowing loan growth, right? We're still seeing higher than average wage growth. So that means we're starting to see inflation. And we are, going through an interest rate adjustment. So I don't want to be a buyer here. I don't want to be someone who wants to long equities. Not yet. Now, if we get back, prove me wrong, and I don't mind. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong by getting back to where we were. Now, if you get back to where we were, I'll clap for you. I'll clap hard for you. I'll clap hard for you. But something tells me we ain't getting back there. Am I thinking any plays for the midterm during election night? I'll tell you one thing right now. If the Democrats win, forget a bounce back. Forget a recovery. Because they're going to make sure Donald Trump is a lame duck. They're not going to do nothing. They're going to make sure he doesn't pass a goddamn thing for the next whatever time he has left. Republicans know it. Nothing's going to get done. So we'll see who shows up at the polls. We'll see who shows up. Yeah, that's why diversification is the key. Yeah, diversification is the key, but also just, again, buying and selling stocks that make sense, right? If the economy's getting worse, I'm going to find the shitty plays that are the shitty plays that have been moving up either on hype or have been moving up based on this hot sector. I'm going to play the stocks that are up because, like Grub, tickers like this, companies that are, sure, obviously convenience still sells, but, look at this chart. I understand that in a weakening economy, money starts getting a little tight. Maybe now I'm not calling for somebody to deliver the food. I'm going to go out and get it. Things that make a high probability trade that are going to be successful. Bad scientists short the market. Absolutely. Short the market if the Dems win. Absolutely. If they take any, whether it be the House of Representatives or the Senate, doesn't matter. If they win both, if they win either, doesn't matter. Short them. What's a good tax play? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't understand. I wouldn't know how to answer that question. What's a good tax play? I don't know. I appreciate you, K-Mac. What's a good oil play? I know the referees company. What is what's the name of that Brazilian oil company? That publicly traded Brazilian oil company. Publicly traded Brazil oil play. Google answers everything, man. Petrobras. It's like PBRA or something, right? No, it's not Petro. I know it's something. Petro. I know they're here in the U.S. Let me go to the chat room. PBR. Is it PBR? Where is it? Where are they at? Damn it! They're already making the move. Yeah, I it's been a long time since I caught up with Petrobras. Oh man, they're back up in the double digit. I saw it selling off into the summer. I said, man, this is going to be oh man, I think it's moved now. It might not be too late. I mean, Brazil is recovering. If you guys don't know, Brazil was in a recession. They had, this is another incredibly left-leaning country where they just basically had a situation where, a government that was making promises to the people they couldn't afford to make. You had massive layoffs. You had people walking off their jobs. You had, just a whole bunch of issues that you have with these kind of leftist countries. But now they've got a situation where they have a right-wing president coming into office. And some of these Brazilian companies are going to be big beneficiaries of what I think is going to happen to, just like what happened here in the U.S., where if you remember the first several weeks of Trump's presidency, he got rid of a lot of, regulation. And I think that could happen in Brazil. So I don't believe they're a state-owned company, but whether they are or not, it doesn't matter. They're going to give you. This is going to give you an opportunity to be able to play into the Brazil election. All right. I don't know. Has it already taken place? I don't know if it's already taken place or not. Let me see here. Brazil elections were held. Okay. October 7th to the 28th. Okay, yeah, it's a weird type of election. But right now, the far-right candidate still holds a wide lead. So he's expected to win. And it could be a big boom for businesses out there. So PBR is going to be one. I know that Brazil also has a major ETF. I think it's like IZM or something like that, EZM. I should know this one. BRZM or something like that. What's that? What's the Brazil ETF? I know somebody in the chat room knows it. What's the big time Brazil ETF? But damn, PBR was one. Again, if I had the show at the time, I wasn't. June wasn't. I was in and out of things. BRZU. There it goes. BRZU. Thank you, Bats. BRZU. And as you can see here, already slowly kind of making that kind of a possible comeback. So again, this has been a runner before. Again, a new presidency, right-leaning, pro-business. This is where things could work out for you. But as I mentioned, this guy, he's far right, but he's got this weird obsession with military junta government that had once taken over in Brazil. I guess he's got some like love affair with that part of the country's history. And they weren't, it was like a Cuba situation where the government controlled, where the military controlled business. So, just do your research on it. Yeah, there he goes. So you can sell a strangle. Or just figure it out. Take some risk. This is trading. We're taking risk. EWZ is another one. I think EWZ is the more expensive one, isn't it? Yeah, slightly more expensive. More volume. All right. So yeah. And we've talked about how, if we're going into this sell-off again, I think, as I mentioned in last week's show, the opportunity for profit is going to be outside of the United States of America. That's where the big profit margins are now moving forward. That's where the big profit margins are moving forward. Places like Brazil, India, these countries in Africa that are going insane. Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Vietnam, all these little developing countries out here where, they're developing the kind of talent that can, handle the next generations of technology. And then they're bringing their people out of the middle class. They're demanding better products and services. And if you're a foreign international company, you can take advantage of that. Okay. The shippers. I'm not a fan of the shippers right now. We saw the move today in GLBS. We didn't see anything in dries, right? I didn't see anything peep up. Oh, yeah, I didn't see nothing in dries for the most part. So I don't have any love affair with the shippers right now. I mean, I think that's kind of one of those things that's kind of came and went, but we'll see if it comes back or not. All right, so let me get up out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys. Let me close it out the right way. Okay. If you don't know what this song is, man, I can put you up on game. Basically, every bar in every military town, when it's time to close, they play this song. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for watching. New people, old people. Again, subscribe to my channel. What else can I say? Look out for, again, more videos. Look out for the Patreon, those of you guys who want to support me. I appreciate you guys, but again, I want to show some consistency before I ask for a Patreon again. So I appreciate that. Rich Million, thank you. Jim Gray, appreciate you. Three Hooks, thank you. Legendary H, thank you. Shirley Lewis. Oh, NEPT. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good. But do the research on it. I don't know what's moving it, but it's showing some good support here. Yeah. Healthcare stock, decent PE for a healthcare play. Giovanni, appreciate you, man. Bruce Mason, thank you. K Mac, appreciate you. Money State Woke, thank you. Kenny Dutton, I appreciate you. Charlotte, thank you. Chris McKinney, thank you. Jeff the Marine, I appreciate you. Patrice Jameson, thank you. P Bank, SEC Trader, JT the Bullhead Trader. Nazir Ahmed, I appreciate you. Woody Wright, Kenny Dutton, Candace Sands Thomas, everybody who watched the show live and the recording, I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys back here, same time, same place, Wednesday. We'll see how the market moves. Until then, take care, everyone. Happy trading.